Hello guys, welcome back to This is the Police. Let's read the headlines. City crime rate increased by 31%. Mayor's nephew expresses desire to become FPD chief. Freeburg farmers report record harvest. Chuck down that morning coffee and let's go to work. So here's Cooper. I drank too much. I don't think I can hold it together today. Can I go home? His endurance meter is fine, so he cannot go home at all. But he might be an alcoholic though. He's got this bottle icon. So he might not be the best cop in the world, but we'll use him anyway. So we have our first call. The Sands need help in the business center. From Christopher G. Sand, our people were scouting ahead of Mr. Sand's movements and we spotted a punk carrying a gun. There's sure to be a few more of these bastards lurking nearby. Let's get together and turn the tables on his slimeball crew. So we're going to not help. And here's a destruction of property call. The attendant of the arcade called in a complaint about two teenagers who broke the steering wheel off the Turbo Nitro machine and are currently fleeing the scene. I said Cooper, the alcoholic cop, and our best cop. So yeah, we're not going to help out Sand because we are rooting for Varga in the gang war. And I think we can let Varga win this day as well. And then we'll have to make him lose next one. So that Sand doesn't suspect that we are supporting Varga. So here's a municipal assignment from City Hall. The wife of the mayor's press secretary loves choral singing. Today is her birthday, so please send some men with good voices. Yeah, we only have these two available, so they'll have to go sing. We would like the mayor to increase our funding. There's an alcoholic in a car accident. Casey Cooper was killed. According to preliminary reports, it appears he was drunk. So his career as an alcoholic cop lasted for a very short time. So here's the report from the destruction of property. And only Powers made it to the actual scene, but he took care of business. Here's an illegal arms sales going on in the ghetto. We can send a lot of cops to this. 5 cops. An eyewitness reports that a man is selling weapons on the street, right out the trunk of his car. Someone is getting shot every night around here. You need to finally do something. Yeah, it's in the ghetto, and we don't have any cops to send. We will have to have at least 3 cops available for that, or it'll be too dangerous. So we're going to have to skip that one. So we couldn't send in SWAT or the paddy wagon. Too bad, living in the ghetto is a hard knock life. So let's get the report, see what happened. Offender escaped, but one civilian got killed, so that's not good. And here's Vargas, he needs help at the bridge. Mr. Varga told us to bring him a van full of fruit, but Sands men caught up with a driver on the bridge and they're throwing the shipment into the river. Maybe you can get there quickly enough to save a box or 2 of oranges. I'll send Powers to that. Hopefully he won't get killed because we really need him. And here's a firefight at the port, where we can send pretty much the entire station and SWAT and the paddy wagon. A dock worker sighted several armed men making their way between some cargo containers. Soon after he heard several shots and some screams. The precise number of armed men is unknown, but port officials report seeing at least 5 people. So we cannot really send anyone here. So we don't have any available cops. And only sending 1 or 2, it'll probably result in a death. If we get everybody back before the timer runs out, we might attempt it with 3 cops and SWAT and the paddy wagon. And the Sands needs help again, and we're just not going to send anyone. We want Sand to lose this day, and then we'll help him a little bit on the next one, so he hopefully wins that, so he doesn't suspect that we are in league with the Varga. Alright, so we got a firefight report here from the port. Offender escaped, that's to be expected. But nobody died there, which is interesting since it was a firefight. Let's take a look at these calls here. Suspicious individual. At the Everyday Mall, former psychiatric patient Leboko Clark called the police because a maniac was harassing people at the mall. According to Leboko, there's a killer on the loose who will stop at nothing. So we could respond to that with 1 cop because there's 3 slots. But let's just take a look at the other ones. This is Ulrich Bieber from the city center. Mr. Boyd, I feel bad about coming to you again, but you are really the only one who can help with this. Those records that my ex sued me for, well, I got them back, of course, and I guess this could be nothing, but her big-nosed brother had his sights on them. The idiot even hired a private detective who's been at my store 3 days straight, and now he has the audacity to come to my house and accuse me of being involved in the record's disappearance. I don't know if he has any evidence, but the risk is just too high. Can you scare them both? Make sure they stop poking their noses into other people's business. My store is open for you anytime. We would have to send 3 cops, and we don't have 3 cops. So we'll send Powers over here before that timer runs out. There we go. So let's hope Powers is enough. And we'll let this one run out, as well as the sand one. And here's another Vaga. We can respond to that, but going to have to wait before we get some cops back. That municipality assignment is taking forever, and Cooper is obviously just dead. Yeah. So we're short-staffed. Just get these reports. Suspicious individual, that's where we sent Powers. That was a false alarm, so that's fine. Sale of stolen goods. No frames found. Detective Brito isn't doing very well. And I think it's the last day we have to solve this. And we're definitely missing some frames, I think. So if the detective doesn't come up with any more frames, we'll fail that. And here's the arson reports. No new frames found either, and we also need new frames here. So Detective Moser has to do better than that. So let's see if Powers gets back before this event here runs out. At Kevin's Throat Bar. It's going to run out. That's the end of the day. That was a pretty shit day, to be honest. With too few cops. But it looks like we got another win there for Vargas. And now we need to make the Sands win the next one, so that he doesn't suspect us and kill us. We need to do some paperwork for this dead employee, so we can declare him dead, or we could delay the paperwork, keep the body in the morgue. I don't see any reason to keep the body. Let's just declare him dead and end the day. So let's take a look at the headlines. Mayor proves his commitment to nepotism. City police chief not elected position, says Mayor Rogers. Mayor Rogers, if my nephew wants to lead the police, I support him. That's all well and good. Let's go to work. So Stovall didn't come in to work today. That's our best cop. Actually an ace cop at 485. Moser didn't come into work either. Kusumi? What the hell? And Orion thinks she's too tired to go to work. And she just has to stay on. So we're starting out with 3 cops and a detective. And 1 promotion. Let's give that to Grant. And start the day with 3 cops at the precinct. Alright, so we have a lot of funerals going on. All of these cops are going in the ground here. They died the last time around in that incident where SWAT failed to do anything. And here's something from City Hall. Hire female cops. Considering certain recent events, we are obliged to grant some concessions to the feminists. You are to make sure that at least half of the staff at the police station are women. You have 3 days. Well, this entire team is women. Does that count? We can't hire anyone else. Because at the labor market there's only detectives available. But we have cop slots open. So that's really not great. So that doesn't help us. Let's check out this suicide threat on the bridge. A taxi driver heard someone screaming and noticed a few people gathering on the bridge as he was driving past towards the port. He stopped to see if anyone needed help, but as he approached he saw that a man was threatening to throw himself and 2 children into the icy water below. Jason left us. I lost my job in the house and there's no way we'll survive. It's better if everything just ends now. To the taxi driver it looked like suicide. Just want to see what the other one is before we do anything. There's some breaking and entering here. An elderly man speaking in a raspy whisper just reported a break-in. There's someone in my house. They're pounding on the door and marching all around downstairs. Hurry. So we can either respond to this or to the suicide threat. Now I think that if someone's gonna do suicide off the bridge, it's probably not that dangerous. They'll probably not try and kill the cops. So we can send SWAT here. We can send these 2 guys. Actually, maybe yeah, like that. And they'll investigate the breaking and entering, and we'll send a last cop over here, Grant, to check out the suicide threat, because I don't think she's going to get killed by someone who's suicidal trying to jump off a bridge. So let's try that. So disorderly conduct at the business center, but we don't have any cops right now. But they might be able to make it back if we're successful in some of these events. Here's a report, breaking and entering. There was a false alarm. There was no one except the dogs in the house. They were scratching at the door because they wanted to go outside. So that's a waste of SWAT. 2 tearful boys, clearly in a state of shock, are standing dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. Beside them, their drunk and distraught father is slowly pushing the children closer to the precipice. So we have 3 options. We can either say, don't be upset my friend, tell me about your wife. Or don't worry there, everything is going to be fine. Or don't be upset my friend, tell me about your husband. Now he did say something in the description there. But I thought that was a male name actually. But I can't remember if it's a wife or husband, so let's just say don't worry there, everything's going to be fine. A strong gust of wind almost blows one of the children off the bridge, but he recovered at the last moment and stumbled to the ground with a scuffed knee. So we have 3 more options: stay back and try not to agitate the man, or rush to the aid of the children, or look, quit fooling around, these children have already suffered enough. Well, if we rush in there, he'll probably go over with the children. And we can try and be a hard ass. Or stay back and try not to agitate the man. I don't like any of these options really. But maybe if you stay back for long enough, he'll start to sober up and not jump. He might also respond well to the plea for the children. I think we'll just stay back. The man slurs his words, saying that there's no point delaying the inevitable. So here we can either point a gun at the man and order him to step away from the edge. Think about what you're doing, there's people who care about you. Or we could say your children have their whole lives in front of them, you can't make this decision for them. I think we'll say that. I don't like the first one, so we can't really threaten him to go off the edge. And it's pretty obvious that he's not really thinking that anyone cares about him right now. So that would sound hollow, coming from a police officer. So we are left with this. Again, a plea for the children. Offender escaped, officer unharmed, civilians unharmed, so nobody died. So in my book that's a success, but we did lose attributes here. So I think it's okay. Nobody died, but we didn't catch the offender. I don't know how he came off the bridge and then proceeded to escape from the police. Looks like we are going to not be able to send anyone to the city center. It runs out before anyone's back. And the Sands need help at the Octopus restaurant, and I think we need to help him. Because otherwise we'll let Varga win 3 days in a row, and he'll probably start to suspect us. A member of the family was out at a restaurant having dinner with his secret lover, but because the affair was secret, he was light on protection, and one of Varga's agents was able to slip a grenade into the room. This is a job best handled by the police, unofficially, of course. yeah. So let's send Grant and Orion to that. Let's get this disorderly conduct report where we didn't go. Offender escaped, nothing else. One civilian killed, so unfortunate. And we're going to not help Varga at the Octopus restaurant. So we need him to lose this day. Hostage situation at the Bank of Freeburg. We have just one cop to send, and we already spent SWAT for the day. So we're not going to respond to this, I think, but let's just read it. A man wearing a suit walked into the lobby of the bank, locked the doors, and proceeded to kill several customers. He never said a word. He just started firing at people, reported one eyewitness. A dozen people remain inside the building, and the criminal's demands are as yet unknown. Well, if we send just one cop, she'll probably die. So I don't like to let this slide, but I think we have to. Unless we get Grant and Orion back in time. And then we'll send all three, but we don't have SWAT, so it might be extremely hairy. It's probably better than not responding at all. So at the last second, we have all three back, I think. We're just gonna have to do it. Let's go. And now the Sands need help again there, but we're not going to be able to send anyone, I think. Unless they make it back quickly enough. I expect we'll have a situation at the bank. Yeah. Yeah, they want reinforcements. We can't send any. So we can either retreat or refuse, but we are at the end of the day anyway. So I think we'll refuse and let it play out and see what happens. So we got a report. Offender caught, officers unharmed, civilian killed. And they lost attributes for that, so that counts as a failure. But it could have gone worse. So let's see if we get our guys back so we can send some to help out Sands. Yeah, just in time. A sweet girl named Anna is one of our key assets in a large accounting firm. She just got home from work and found the house was on fire, and the assholes that started it are all standing around admiring their handiwork. Wouldn't it be pretty if someone cracked open their skulls and tossed them onto the flames? So let's send 2 cops to that. So we got a report here. Detective Beasley. In a hit and run. We got 3 news frames. So let's take a look at that. An unknown vehicle struck librarian Klimek Klanowski at a pedestrian crossing and drove off. The victim was found dead on the scene. Let's just quickly view all of these witnesses. This dark colored car comes tearing around the corner, hopped the curb and kept on going, knocked the man over, didn't even slow down. Not long before the crash, I kicked a couple drunks out the bar. They were having a fight with some of my regulars. A few days ago, Dad had a fight at work with a couple young people who were causing a ruckus at the library. The whole thing almost came to blows. They threatened him before they left. I saw 2 people in the car. They were right by me. The man in the passenger seat had a beard. Klimek thought he was being followed. He said he saw the guy everywhere. Said it looked like someone had some problem with him at the library. Doesn't really seem that helpful. So he's walking down the street. And maybe these guys get in the red car and they drive to where he's walking, but first they have to turn the corner and then they hit him. Well, that's not it. This is a black car. We don't have any more frames for black cars. So what about this? That completed it. The sequence completed. William Holden frequents the local bar's repeated arrest for driving under the influence. So that was the correct sequence. So now we have 2 new points of interest here. This is William's last known place of residence, but the information is over 3 years old. And you have to send 2 officers and the lead investigator. So we need to get some officers back first. And this one is William's favorite place to tie one on. He knows everyone at the Kevin's Throat bar. So we can go to a home or the bar, but we can't do it this day because we didn't have 2 cops to send. And this is the end of the day. So now the Sands won this day, so that's good. So the next day we can go back to supporting Vargas. let's end the day. Alright guys, we'll leave off here. We're really pressured on resources. We need to hire some more cops. Hopefully we can do that in the next day. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you all next time.